Well, anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Hi. My name is SYLBOURNE, and welcome to the late one. And the show is called Youth Connections, where I try to engage with young people and to let them speak. Because I was once young, and I had a platform, and I would make up enough noise sometimes, if anything, if I wasn't heard. And in this dispensation at this time, with so many things happening, I believe it's also important that we give an opportunity for the youths or younger persons to have a voice. I know that I'm going in to become a younger person at the same time. I'm going into being a millennial, you know. And as they say, black don't crack. So if you get confused, that is the whole thing. Black don't crack. But anyway, without further ado, I've got a guest tonight, Miss Nicole Leonne, founder of youth empowerment organization called Iron Sharpens Iron. She currently a master in social psychology, mental health advocate, founder of youth empowerment organization called Iron Sharpens Iron, member of SDS Entertainment, and work with young people as well. And I think it's very important because I keep getting flooded with different persons. So without further ado, I'm going to, with a stroke of my finger, invite Nicole into the main sphere of things.
Hello.
Nicole, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Now tell me the first thing. Now, my daughter always says, "Mommy, Daddy watching himself again." You know. What did you think? What do you think about that video there?
I think the video was really good, very empowering, because
Yes.
you used a diamond to describe everything.
Yes.
I think one thing that's important is diamonds are like hidden underground, so it takes a lot to dig in and then pick up the diamond. And I think it's kind of like we should work towards perfection, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, at first the diamond's quite small and it's dirty, but it's consistently, washed and everything, and it's one
Yes.
of the most precious things. So
Yes.
I really like that video. I really
And,
like
and the one aspect of it after a while, and that's for another video, is that there's a 6 minute video.
yeah,
You wash it, you polish it,
yeah,
and then you're on display.
yeah,
And the other thing about it is that when you think that you found that diamond and you got a diamond, anybody who search for a diamond, they always look in that same area for another set of diamonds.
yeah.
So it's not just one. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on, and I do appreciate that at short notice for you to come on and to really talk with us today, Nicole. So tell us, how was your day today? I mean, it was hot. I almost was going to wear just my shorts today, but I was advised against that.
Oh, good. But yeah, my day was good. It was good. I'm currently working on a dissertation at the moment.
Yes.
So I'm looking into Black women and mental health. So I've just been doing a bit of reading and research on that. That's been my day today, going for a bit of a walk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about it, really.
Well, good. Well, just last night, and before I get into the main, just last night, there's been some sort of shift in regards to this whole COVID-19, where the Prime Minister is actually saying, someplace in Manchester, they're sort of, having some restriction.
Yeah.
The 7 day, what should I say, isolation or whatever has gone up to 10 days. Before it was 14 days initially, and they're talking about the possibility of a spike. What's your thoughts on COVID, and how do you see this going on, around us now? It's a talk of the town,
Yeah, definitely. I think with COVID, it was very unexpected. So I'm sure at the beginning of the year, everybody had plans of what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go, and these plans that they had. So just all of a sudden, like, the whole world was on lockdown. It was
Yes.
very kind of shocking. I think what it kind of encouraged all of us to do is to think on our feet. So kind of use the time that we had in lockdown to kind of develop any talents that we had. I think you can see it in two ways. So you can
Yes.
see it in a negative way, like, everything hasn't gone how I've planned, or you can see it in a positive way where it's like, okay, let me work on my craft, develop myself and everything. Obviously, it's not always easy, but we're getting there in the end. I think another important thing as well is because we're in a lockdown, it's important for us to realize how we're looking after our physical, mental,
Mm,
emotional well-being. I think that's something that we really need to look into, especially at this point in time.
yes, yes. You're right about that. It's very interesting times, and it evolves. It's like uncharted waters, uncharted territories.
Yeah,
Therefore, everybody will have to live in. But I believe at the same time that the world is one whereby over the years and from time, man has been an evolving force, and man survived. And I believe man shall survive because I'm not sure this is how God wanted us to go. or 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 maybe we'll have to follow Michael Jackson lead, late Michael Jackson lead, who was always in a mask and he's always in a
yeah,
glove.
in gloves, yeah,
I mean, I used to break dance many years ago, and I used to have my jacket, my gloves. Strange in Jamaica, hot Jamaica climate, black jacket, gloves,
yeah.
hat in Jamaica, hot Jamaica. You know,
Oh
that was
my God.
crazy days. You know, but more than likely we're going back to that days. But anyway, listen, tell us what you do. Tell us what you do, and what's your what's your message to the world, Nicole?
Okay, so I'm Nicole Leonne, and
Yeah.
I study a master's in social psychology at the moment.
Mm,
Uh, I'm a founder of Iron Sharpens Iron, and then I'm also a member of Setting the Standards Entertainment.
yes.
So with Iron Sharpens Iron, what my aim was to do was to empower young people.
Mm,
I feel like personally myself, I didn't necessarily have anybody to encourage me in terms of like peer pressure, in terms of how to go about things. You know, I would have liked somebody like a bit older than me to, guide me in that sense.
yes. Yes.
So what I do with Iron Sharp Design is I bring young people together and just kind of share their ideas, let them be able to talk freely, and also
Mm,
let them know that they have the freedom to talk. They can work wherever they want to work and
yes.
whatever they want to do. Because I feel like at this point in time, young people have such amazing ideas.
Mm,
Some people feel like, oh, I'm a bit too young, so I can't really go down that route, or I don't have the right connections to be able to do that. So my aim is to encourage them and let them know that there are different kinds of ways they can go about everything. Um, in relation to that, I'm a member of Setting the Standards Entertainment. So with that, it's working with young creatives. So they do spoken word, we do music, they do
mm,
dance, and we try and find ways in which they can become known. So it's really nice. It's definitely very rewarding that I can give back to the community in any
yeah.
way I can. Yeah.
So what you're saying then is that your agenda is really to empower
Yes.
the youth, if anything,
Yeah.
because what we have is a situation whereby the youth sometimes looking to the elders, and
Mm-hmm.
the elders are also expecting something from the youths.
Yeah.
But where you're coming from is a situation whereby you are wanting to empower young
Yes.
people at the same time. Iron sharpeneth iron. When one talks about iron sharpeneth iron, it's a scriptural uh, base, isn't it?
Yeah. That's Proverbs 27:17. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I was testing you right there, but I'm glad you. Yeah, yeah. Iron sharpeneth iron. That's a way of touching the youth. So what you're saying then, while what is happening in society, you got black crime, you've got
Yeah.
issues there, you got young people, but
Hmm.
you're finding yourself in a position whereby you are seeing how you can actually help to
Yes.
prepare the youths.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And I think one of the main things I like to do is, even though like it's a biblical term,
Mm,
like I'd like everybody of all different cultures, all different diversities, young people, all just coming together to support each other, whether they're believers, whether they're not believers. I feel like everybody should feel included and everybody should empower each other, understand each other's ideas. And if there's any way that they can encourage each other, then that's the main aim. As long as I know that they're successful and they're
yes.
doing what they love and it's the right path, that's my aim, that's my goal.
So,
Yeah.
you come in two folds now, because at one aspect you have iron sharpened iron, which
Yeah.
is, it seems to me like it's dealing with the mindset,
Yes. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then with SD,
Yeah. That's good.
setting the standards, you're
Yeah.
talking about people involved with music.
Yes. Yes. That's like a music.
Yeah. And how do you marry those? How do you marry those up? Is like, marry those for me. You've got the setting the standards,
Yeah.
you've got iron sharpened iron. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think with Iron Sharpens Iron, that's more a safe space, a more talking space, a place where ideas can be shared. So
Mm,
that can be done face to face. Well, at the moment, it's being done through Skype.
yes.
And then with SDS, we previously had, I think with Iron Sharpens Iron, that's more, we had shows.
Yes.
So we'd have different open mic nights each Friday of the month.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it'll be a chance for people to perform, and then other people. It was quite a close knit event, but it was really nice to just kind of bring people together. And
Yeah.
also the artists got to network with each other. So that's very good. Yeah. So that's the differentiation between the two.
Not to stop it, but just to interject. And with the whole COVID and the lockdown and the isolation and the quarantine, how
Mhm.
was that happening? How was that going on during the course of that time? Zoom.
So I think it was very kind of it was different because it was like we had everything going like face to face, and then all of a sudden you can't go out. So it was like wow. So I think with Iron Sharpens Iron, I specifically made sure I made a Skype group to make
Mm,
sure it's consistent each month with our meetings. And with SDS Entertainment, I think it was important that we adapted.
yes.
So what we did was we had a website out. We also do weekly podcasts on Instagram as well, and just constantly keeping up to date with the music industry and society in general with SDS. So I think the most important thing at this point in time was just learning how to do things virtually. Because personally, I've had to learn all of this. Luckily, I've had the young people to help me.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's interesting you said you're getting the young people to help you.
yeah.
So I presume you're like in your 30s, 35 or so.
I'm even 24.
I don't understand. I'm pushing 25 plus, much more. Maybe double that, if anything. I'm in that era whereby I can dabble with all these different things. And you're saying you're at 24, and the young people
Yeah.
are trying to are sorting you out. How did that happen?
You know what? I sometimes even have focus groups just to make sure that I'm on top of everything when it comes to Skype, when it comes to Instagram, when it comes to, promoting and branding and stuff, just to make sure I know, okay, this is the right way to go about things and I can target certain audiences.
Well. I did a video the other day, or a picture, and my
Yeah.
daughter said to me, "Daddy, you need some more something there to put that there and everything
Yeah.
like that." And she was guiding me. Guess how old she is?
How old?
8.
So she already knows. She already knows the young thing then.
Yeah, telling me how to set the thing properly, and I'm trying to set
Yeah.
it up. But it's exciting because, in one breath, and one of the reasons why I definitely wanted to do something like this on a Saturday, because I'm always talking about the politics, talking about Trump, talking about what's happening in the States, and all those sort of things we call it big people thing, you know. And then I had these two little girls, who was 14 and 15, on
Yeah.
something called Miss Teen Caribbean UK.
Okay.
15, 16, another one was 16, 17, or whatever, over
Yeah.
2 weeks. And then at one of the shows, I asked them any last word, and she said, "Thank you for allowing us to speak and to
Yeah.
let our voice be heard."
Mhm.
And that is what propelled me to say that I need to make sure that I set a platform and
Yes,
be
definitely.
there to just speak and just to share, because
Yeah.
it is at times as if they're not listened to or
Yeah.
not understood,
Yeah.
And even though I may be talking to them, I still may not understand, but I
Mm.
still listen.
Yeah. And I think it's quite good, like you're listening, because it's like you feel heard.
Yes.
I think one of my friend recommended a Bible verse to me, and
Mm,
it said in Jeremiah 1 verse 5, it said Jeremiah was basically being told to do something by God, and it
yeah.
was I'm too young, I can't do the
Yeah.
things that you're telling me to do, and it was like God was giving him the confidence to be able to do that. I feel like we can associate that with young people at this point in time as well. It's like they might feel I'm too young, so I can't speak out. I can't say what I want to do because I'm restricted.
But
But that
yeah.
will never be the case. And I feel like this platform is perfect to bring young people on for them to speak how they want to speak, and for you to understand them as well, and they understand you.
Well, I want to tell you that as it's Bible study night, so I just took up my Bible there. Before I formed in the womb, I knew you. If you're born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nation.
Yeah,
Yeah, but so
yeah.
I guess don't have to worry about church Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. We're just having church,
What is?
you know. But tell me now, how do you then when you, I tend to keep going back into this particular issue here because during the whole COVID time and the whole Black Lives Matters,
Yeah,
when you speak to young people, you sense that there's this notion within them that there's a problem.
yeah.
There's this notion that they feel cheated out of their
Hmm.
history when they're
Yeah,
speaking to people and they realize they didn't know this.
yeah,
Um, and therefore, some of them have this level of anger in them. I mean, I saw John Boga, I forgot what his name, the guy from
yeah,
Star Wars,
yeah, yeah,
this anger coming out there, and it was deep.
yeah.
How do you resonate that? Because history in this country
Hmm.
is not history as how it is, or put it this way, it is taught
Yeah.
by people for what they want us to hear.
Yes,
How
yes.
do you deal with that? How do you resonate with that? You're born in this country.
Yeah, I think with Black Lives Matter, I think there's subtle racism in the
Mm,
UK.
yes,
So I feel like as a black woman, like I have to work at least 3 times as harder as anyone else.
yes.
And another thing that I've realized is sometimes I might feel a bit cautious about applying to a certain job
Mm,
because of my surname. I'm thinking, oh, because they'll know if I'm black. What if they decide, no, this is not the person for me? But
yeah.
I think one of the most important things for me to do is just to keep pushing,
Mm,
need to be heard, and for people my age, people younger to be heard as well. I think an important thing as well, it was all good. It was really empowering seeing all the protests. But one thing we have to think about is what's next? What are we doing next
yes.
to make those changes? Are we going to talk to the government to make sure things are being changed? Are we talking
Mm,
to our local government, local councils, making small changes in that sense?
mm,
I think it's quite hard in a sense because racism has been a thing from God knows when.
yeah.
So it's important for us to find ways to find a solution. Like we can't continue,
Mm,
protesting and then leave it at that. It's more
yes.
racism is there's more to it.
So
Yeah,
what you're saying, it's like a cycle. It's a
yeah,
wave that keeps going back and forth as well.
yeah,
I want to just pick up back on the name bit there,
yeah,
because you said your name could have stir. My first job in the legal profession
yeah.
was with a counselor, and when the agency sent me there, they hired me. But years after, the person who hired me,
Okay.
she said to me, we actually wanted the girl. So
Oh, wow.
we asked the agency to send the girl. My name's Silburn Sidiel. They thought it was a girl.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
And but they had no choice but to hire me that time. You know, I still have it with judges sometimes. There was a judge one time, corresponding with him for a while, and he kept saying Miss Sidiel, Miss Sidiel, Miss Sidiel. I said to my other colleagues, the other lawyers, when we were going to court, guys, there's going to be a shock. You keep thinking as I'm a
yeah.
girl. And I went in there, and the judge said, I think I've been doing something wrong, isn't it, Mr. Sidiel? And I said, and then one more time, when I first came to this country in 1992, I was selling musical toys on
Okay.
the high street. And every time I go out and saying my name or doing cold calling,
Yeah.
they said, "What's your name?" And I said, "Silver and City." It showed off everything. Where did that name come from? Blah blah blah. You know what
Oh,
the guys them said to me? They said, "We're gonna name you John Lewis."
really?
Yes. And for
Wow.
a month, I was called John Lewis.
Why did they decide to just?
It opened the doors right away. It was a time when John Lewis was born. And so, therefore, if one is not careful, I just came to the country at that time, 92, 93, 94. But you've got to be so careful that you're not taking down a particular path to
Yeah.
ease.
Hmm.
And where that comes from, Nicole, no matter how much racism we have around us, the
Hmm.
most important thing is persons to understand self.
Yes,
And
definitely.
it's over years that I developed that level of mindset
Yeah.
that I don't care if I'm treated as if someone say we're treated as first class or second class
Yeah.
citizen, always say it doesn't matter because
Hmm.
I know who I am.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
you know,
Yeah.
and I think that is something that as young people we have to build that into them. And with what you're doing with your level of things like in psychology and iron sharpened iron, I
Mm.
do encourage you with that, especially with young people, and that's kudos to you.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like with Iron Sharpens Iron, what I want to do is I just want culture and diversity. So I don't want it to just be focused specifically on young black people. If there were different cultures, so like Asian, white people, at least for my stance, like I can also be the one to teach them that this is what happens in terms of racism with black people.
Yes,
Go and learn about this, learn about that, and it just gives them more of an insight. So as they get older, it's like they're more um, supportive of each other.
yes,
Yeah, so that's my main aim. Like if I'm able to do that,
yeah.
like yeah,
And it's important because, as you say, it's important that the information be shared so
yeah,
people can understand each
definitely,
other. But
yeah,
I'm seeing you got some fans there. Well done, my dear Mercy. Just people are saying comments. Um, uh, Dion says good night. Sel Adonis says, "Yes, Nicole, show them how it's done through inspiration." You know,
thank you.
and Alison Bursa says, "Beautiful." And,
Thank you.
and also Alison says, powerful, Nicole, and well done, Silburn, for giving them a young platform as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please share this video as well, and even after the show, to let young people know, because I believe at the same time that the safe space is
Yeah,
so crucial.
definitely.
You know, and how do you deal with that safe space now? You've got a guy or a young lady who is into issues. How do you get into that, or do you wait for the safe ones, the ones which are easy? You go
Uh,
into the difficult ones.
I think what I do is the most important thing at this point in time is to be completely non-judgmental.
Yes.
Because if anyone feels judged, they're not going to be able to come to me or come and speak with each other. So I think one main aim, especially with Iron Sharpens Iron,
Mm,
is to come in and you'll be told there's no judgments, no stigmas, nothing like that, because
yeah.
that's not how we can support each other and everything.
Yes.
So what I do is, like people will come into Iron Sharpens Iron, and then I ask them to promote it to their friends as well. So just friends who might not feel as open to talk and stuff, just
Yes.
to let them know that I'm available, whether they want to talk to me one on one or whether they just like to feel part of a group. Then
Mm.
yeah, and just like the empowerment that they should get. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
And you got a strong sense of fate, isn't it? You go.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well,
Yeah,
I I want to bring this one into you because I think this is very crucial, and it is very powerful, and it's politics. What's
mhm.
your take on politics with young people at this time, and people getting involved in politics at this time?
In terms of politics, I think the most important thing is the knowledge. because when we get to 18, we're just kind of told as young people, vote. We don't know what we're voting for. We
Mm,
don't know what equals what. We don't understand it. So literally, we just vote for everything. I think in schools, it's really
mm,
important to teach about politics properly, to teach about the different, parties that there are. So
mm.
at least we know what we're going to at the age of 18 and beyond.
Yes.
Yeah, and it is important that young people do have a say where whatever community that they're in, just to have like a mediator in a sense, because obviously the people that are in the certain parties, the government, they're all older, so they may not have an understanding of where us young people would be coming from. So it's important to have a mediator like myself, or literally have a direct contact with the young people to know where their minds are at,
So
and
you're talking about like bridging the gap.
yes, yes,
Mm.
basically. Yeah. So then we can all move forward in terms of like politics and government. Yeah.
Because I do believe that it is so important, and a level of encouragement to yourself as well as the young people, if anyone listening. If you ever walk through Porculus House, that is the House of Parliament on the other side of the road, and if
Yeah.
you walk through the palace, you see
Hmm.
lots of young people there in their suit walking around with
Yeah.
papers and those sort of things. And
Hmm.
those young people are interns. And
Yeah.
what they're doing research. And the
Okay.
other ones go back to the MP and actually say to the MP, this is what can be done. We can increase the
Yeah.
congestion charge by this or blah, blah, blah. So
Hmm.
all of those ideas and some of the things that we coming from parliamentarians and MPs are coming really from young researchers who are there doing the brunt of the work.
Yeah. Hmm.
And so there are many different facets of
Hmm.
politics where young people can actually delve into, you know, and you can start. One can even be an MP at 18. You gonna run?
Oh wow.
Are you gonna run? You can run
Wow.
it.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's one named Black. I think her name is Black. I think she's one of the youngest MPs. She's from Scotland or Ireland. A young lady, something Black. She's very young, and you can do that once you have a certain age. That is why some people are saying they need to bring the age rate a bit higher to 21.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and these are information that young people need to understand that they can be proactive,
Yeah.
interactive at this time, and
Yeah.
not believing that they have to sit back and
Yeah.
and wait for things to happen.
But I feel like, are they given the knowledge or the opportunity to say this is open for you? Because a lot of the time, I
Mm.
feel like young people don't necessarily know that until or unless they know the right people that can give that information. So, a question to you is: do you think that, for example, you told me the MP's 18. Do you feel like in schools this should be taught so that people know that it's not just exactly education and then after that it's done? Do you think they should be taught
I
about?
think civics is something which should be taught a lot in school and for
Yeah.
young people to understand. I did a scheme when I came here called Operation Black Vote, where
Okay.
I shadowed conservative MPs. Some of my colleagues shadowed Labour MPs, some shadowed Liberal Democrat MPs. And what it
Yeah.
did, it sort of gave you an idea of the workings of Parliament. And now you've got youths, you've got youth Parliament as well, sometimes, and you've got youth mayors. So therefore, there are many different facets, and so it's incumbent upon persons like yourself who are bridging the gap
Yeah.
to sort of get these sort of information and to somewhat impart it. Because in everything, even with some political parties or some people, they may not understand how to bridge a gap in getting to understand different races. You
Yeah.
know,
Definitely. Yeah.
so that's why you got different persons, a black person, MP, a
Yeah.
Sikh MP, a Muslim MP, able to reach their communities.
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
and so young people is also like another community which
Hmm.
needs empowered because we,
Yeah.
we we see a lot with the knife crime, uh,
Yeah.
which is a minority. We see a lot of the stop and search, which is
Yeah.
something which people talk about a lot.
Yeah.
They need to understand even what are some of the rules,
Yeah. Definitely.
you know.
Well, one thing I realized actually was when it came to the protesting, I think it was mentioned that people who even are involved in violence and everything, they came
Mm,
together when it came to the Black Lives Matter
yeah,
protesting, and I thought that was very kind of, what's the word to say? It was very nice because it was just like we can all be at peace, we can all come together.
yes. So
Yeah,
what you saw right there is, hang on a second, they came together
yeah,
on a particular movement.
yes,
Now, how can I find a way to keep them together?
yes,
That's your job,
yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Because in America, I think something happened with the Cribs and the whatever,
yeah,
where they came together at a certain point.
yeah,
And I say this as something called the black element. Is something which I created or devised in my mind, always creating these things. The
yeah,
black element is whereby you find something that everyone can agree on and
yes,
operate within
definitely.
that area.
Yeah,
Because people will vote different things, people have different religion, but
yeah,
there must be something. Say, for
that
instance,
puts them
in
together. Yeah,
yes, in your neighborhood, there may be a pothole.
yeah,
Every single person is going to want to get that fixed, irrespective of religion.
yeah, definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
so you got a mandate.
Yeah,
You got a mandate, Nicole. In regards to what you do, and I see a lot of it coming through iron sharpened iron.
yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to help. I just want that to to yeah, and then the aim is just to leave a legacy as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
every individual just leaving a legacy of positivity wherever they go, whatever they do. Yeah.
And the last bit I wanted to say, I touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
It's about understanding self through history.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you taught history in the UK? Did you understand Black history?
To be honest, all we'd get in October is Black History Month, and then we'd be told about Martin Luther King,
Mm.
and I think that's about it. And Rosa Parks, but there's way more that we should be learning about. There's way more, honestly, and it should be taught in schools. But I don't understand the reason why it's not.
No, you're very right because and I break this down a bit for you there because your background is your parents, I presume, are is directly from Africa.
Yes, yes, they're from Ghana. Yes,
My parents are in Jamaica,
yeah.
but they trace back all the way back in Africa.
Okay.
So
Do you
I
know
could be a relative. Yeah,
where in Africa?
yeah. Well, I don't know where because we came from the transatlantic slavery.
Okay, okay.
So you see, there's a different dimension there. So
Yeah,
those came from the transatlantic slavery to maybe even to Britain, and then they transported to the Caribbean, Jamaica. So
yeah,
they came from they were what should I say, came through slavery.
yeah.
Slavery wasn't the start of the process.
Hmm.
Now yourself, now coming straight from Nigeria, did not have that interruption process of slavery,
Yeah,
and therefore you're taught about Martin Luther King, right?
yeah,
And therefore you're not taught about, if anything, but of course your parents more than likely would have tell you that about kings and queens and the royalty and
yeah,
all those aspects there. But many people
yeah.
do not know that.
Hmm.
And therefore it is so important that even with the Windrush bit here, that many
Yeah,
people who came over at that time fought in the war. And every time
mhm,
you're watching the movies or the celebration of D-Day, you don't see any black people when lots of black people are there.
yeah. Hmm.
So it's so important that young people understand this thing. And
Yeah,
my
definitely.
thinking is that it's not going to come from the system. It's going to come from you and me
Yes.
actually
Yeah,
encouraging and teaching young people about that.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So I think you've got a lot of work to do.
Yes, definitely. I think even with the Windrush, it's only recently being talked about.
Mm,
Like even when I was in school, that was never spoken about in Black history. It was never really spoken about. I think it was only the Caribbeans that knew more about it because their grandparents and great grandparents went through it.
yes,
And it's only just now that the government's bringing it up as an issue.
because of the scandal or so, or the whole thing which happened.
Yes, yes.
So
And
it, yeah.
I was actually watching a program on Channel 4, and it was saying how people my age, so like 25,
Mm.
their parents and their grandparents came to the UK because of the Windrush, and then some of the government were trying to send them back to the Caribbean when they've lived in the UK
Yes.
for ages. And I just thought, how does that work out? It's so unfair. It's just, it's just so unfair, and it's not right at all.
Yeah, it's definitely, and they're still having issues as to the level of compensation. Lots
Mm.
of people's lives have been shattered. Lots of people's lives have been changed, and no amount of money which they get, as they would say, can actually bring them back.
Yeah. Hmm.
You know. But anyway, um, we're going to wrap up before I go. But I just want to look at a couple of comments here, which is from David Agre. He says, "Wow, Nicole, you look." I guess that's your admirer there. You look stunning. I'm so inspired by what you're doing and really touched that you're focused on helping young people like yourself. You're truly inspiration. Frankie Nicole, you're so inspiring. I'm so blessed to have a friend like you and Victor, impressive. And I find it very impressive as well. And
Oh,
you
thank
know,
you.
and I tell you one of the things that I do is every time like somebody suggests a young people,
Hmm.
I I do not, what should I say, judge, or I
Yeah.
do not question, because there's a song in this show called La Miserable. And La Miserable, I don't know if it is showing now, but the
Hmm.
little boy said, be careful how you go, because
Hmm.
little people grow.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
He
very
said, be careful
true.
how you go, because little people grow.
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
and I had Chrissy last week. It was when did I have Chrissy? I got Chrissy last week. She had red hair, and so I said, Chrissy, when is your next hair is gonna be? She said purple. I said, please. So we're gonna have you back on the show when your hair is purple, because
That's what I mean.
because you fit the color dynamics of my show. So she's gonna come back when her hair is purple. You know. So listen, are you? We said I tell people all the while, because I always have this following on Instagram
Yeah.
that comes on, and I always say, my people say I should go over to Instagram, so I always start Instagram and then ask persons to come over there.
Yeah.
So if you are going to join me on Instagram, and we just sort of recap the
Yeah.
discussion here as well, would
That's,
that be good?
yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
let me just see, any last word, Nicole, any last word you got to say?
Last thing I want to say is probably just thank you for all the
Mm,
and also like it's important for us to know who we are.
yes.
Like it's important for us to know who we are so that we don't get swayed by things of the world. Like I think for me, importantly, prayer is the way forward. So at least I know what route I'm going down, where I'm going, and what I want to achieve. Um, and just everybody should support each other, especially the black community. Once
Mm.
to support each other, we're able to make moves, we're able to make a difference in the community nationally and hopefully internationally. So yeah, that's my last words.
And is that famous last words?
Yes, my favorite.
Well, what I've done, I've let your Twitter angle and stuff like that
Okay,
is running there. But
yeah.
I'm going to ask you to do one more thing, and that is, if you're speaking to young people,
Hmm.
what's your central message that you say to young people out there? Um, yeah.
To young people, I'd say firstly, don't always think you're young. Like, even if you're 13 and you have a passion and you know that you're great at it, go for
Mm,
it. If it means that, you're looking around for help or you have somebody older that can help you, go for it. Don't ever be restricted by age because
yes.
there's so many people with talents at the young ages, but they
Yeah.
just don't know how to go about it. So go for your passion, follow your passion, even if you're 8 or whatever.
Mm.
Just follow your passion, and you'll see the manifestation of greatness to come for the future.
Someone, Nana said, how can we join? Iron sharpens iron.
So what you can do is just follow the Instagram. So that's at IR and then sharpens IR. Yeah.
Iron sharpens
Just
iron.
follow the Instagram. And then that's where all the updates and everything
Yes.
will be.
And of course, people can also follow you at Nicole, your email address, your Twitter there as well.
Yeah.
That's powerful. The last thing you just said a while ago, I always keep going back. The last thing you said a while ago about not to just watch your age,
Mhm.
right? And in Job, and there's a scripture in Job that
Yeah.
talks about there's when they were having a go at Job, and there were a council of men. There's a young man was there, and the young man they were telling him like to shut up, and they didn't want to hear him. And he said, "Let
Yeah.
me speak. Let me speak." He said, "There's a breath
Yeah.
of God of inspiration that flows through a man,
Yeah.
which is God inspired." So what
Yeah.
he stood up and said, so young people need to also stand up and feel free to
Yeah.
speak. Amidst
Yeah.
the council of elderly men, let me speak.
Yes. Definitely. And they couldn't feel restricted either. They shouldn't limit themselves.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. All right. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and it's a pleasure. And thank for Nana as well for
Yeah.
recommending himself. And I thank Stephen Atkinson for recommending Nana. And I
Yeah.
thank you guys again for the next person that you'll be recommending, so we can have a conversation. And also, I'm making the platform available that if there's any discussions on a group level that we can have on certain things, we it's here on Fridays for that to happen as well, Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay, and so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining. Um, Many people say I joined the movement. There you are. So you got a movement shaker joining there.
That's
And
good.
yeah. All right. So thank you so much, and we'll join you on Instagram as well, and we'll just have a quick chat as well. Okay, Nana. I'm calling you Nana now. Nana was laughing. Okay, Nicole.
Yeah.
Edit that.
Oh God. It's fine. It's fine. We make mistakes.
It's fine. All right. So thank you very much for that, and we'll catch you over there. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Okay. Let me do that there. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining, and it was great having Nicole Leon to come on the show. Very inspiring lady, very inspiring young person, and Iron Sharpnet. Iron, make sure you tune in and you get involved with that. And there are different facets to it. I encourage her to look at the whole political aspect because I believe politics is very crucial. One doesn't have to get into politics directly in the representational level, but one can get into it on the side level. One can be a governor, one can be a councillor, one can also get involved with being your neighborhood watch. These little things whereby one is empowering yourself within your community. And then as young people take responsibility for themselves, then they can recognize that they can also make the change that they want to see. And I think that is so very much important, and they've got a voice. And as I mentioned in Job, when he said, "Let me speak," young people should be able to speak and have that voice where they command that level of respect. And it's for us, the adults, to also allow them to speak and not to put them down. Because many times and many years ago, people used to say, "Shut up, man, go to your bed." Big people are talk. Of course, respect and manners is important, but when we see sometimes what is happening around us, a lot of it sometimes one would say emanate from the home, emanate from the discussions what happen at home. I always say that home should be the place where there's a level of refreshing. So when you come in from school or whatever like that, you go home and then you are somewhat refreshed. You like on a computer or so, you press that refresh button and you start all over again. Okay, so I want to thank you so much for coming. And those who want to go on Instagram and join Nana, Silburn TV, Nana, Nana, you're in trouble, Nana. Join Nicole over there, and we just have a quick recap, just for maybe a few minutes or so. And but before I go, I'll play out my video motivational moments. Just play about 3 minutes of it as well. And remember to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's important. And subscribe to my Twitter. Well, I don't do Twitter really. I don't do this tweet thing. But Instagram and Facebook, Silburn TV. And tomorrow night, hopefully all being well, I might take cross the Atlantic to Jamaica, and maybe I might have the Minister of Culture or someone from the ministry speaking about the different things for independence, Jamaica Independence Weekend, which starts. And also tomorrow as well, you've got the church service for the Jamaica um, Independence Service, which is going to be taking place virtual at the High Commission. I'll put that up later where one can actually see that. And over the period of time, there's going to be the Jamaica Festival. I may even get Buju Banton. So I understand. Trying to get Buju Banton and then get Beanie Man or some people like that to have that conversation during the period of the time for Jamaica independence. Okay? So all the best and thank you very much. And I'll just play out quickly a bit of motivational moments that you are a diamond. One of the beautiful things of this world is nature. One of the beautiful things of this earth is seeing the bushes. As I walk, one of the natural things is that man, I believe, crave to be close to God, but don't know that.